from making defendants destroy their own case in under 30 seconds,
"You're an idiot and a scammer,"
to having people thrown out of her courtroom mid-sentence. These were the times Judge Judy absolutely destroyed the most obnoxious people to ever step foot in her courtroom. Starting with Leslie Wilson, who sued her former landlord claiming illegal eviction and promptly talked herself into losing everything inside of 30 seconds. Leslie sued her former landlord claiming an illegal eviction, prompting Judge Judy to figure out within about 30 seconds that Leslie hadn't paid rent in months. In the hearing, Judy made her position perfectly clear.
"Miss Wilson, you're not getting any money. I want you to understand. Zippo, not a penny from her."
However, Wilson wasn't remotely interested in accepting that outcome.
She breached an agreement. I thought she was the owner when I signed that lease.
I don't care what you thought.
Unfortunately, Wilson's decision to arrogantly keep pushing only made things dramatically worse.
"You're not getting any money. A Zippo.
The agreement that I have.
A Zippo."
And Wilson immediately knew that she'd made a catastrophic mistake.
"Goodbye, Miss Wilson. Your case is dismissed. I know exactly what you did."
But Leslie arguing over an eviction was small time compared to what Kathleen Kreftmeyer did, because her decision didn't just embarrass her in court, it involved her own 6-year-old daughter. Kathleen was the defendant in a paternity dispute after her husband, David Johnson, was forced to take a paternity test based on her own allegations. During the proceedings, Judy found out what Kathleen had actually done.
"You had a talk with her, and you told her that there was a chance that he wasn't her father."
Yes.
Kathleen had set her 6-year-old daughter down and told her that the man she believed was her father might not actually be her biological father, and she'd done it before she even knew whether that was true.
"And you did that because I don't believe in keeping secrets from my kids."
Yes.
With all that information now on the table, Judy was about to give Kathleen a piece of her mind.
"You are a moron. You are an example of why people should have to take tests before they're allowed to have children."
But instead of showing any remorse like a normal person would, Kathleen just stared back.
"And you still don't even get it."
And she promptly learned what happens when you hand Judge Judy that kind of ammunition.
"You're a moron!"
But that wasn't the only time someone's attitude made things worse for them in Judy's courtroom, because this next guy showed up to federal arbitration in the most ridiculous t-shirt possible. The defendant in this case had been dragged to court over a dispute and had already made things difficult by insisting that dressing up for court was fake.
"I don't care if you go into a beach fight. Hey,
Be real at court.
Hey, listen
Do you
to
want
me.
me to be fake with you?
Judy had very little patience for that attitude, but nothing could have prepared anybody for what walked through the door next. Her husband and witness, who showed up in a t-shirt that said, "Beer equals fun."
Mr. Gordon, that's a ridiculous shirt that you chose to wear to court today. I'm just letting you know that. Do you understand?
Yes.
The guy was so smug. His entire energy was of a man who thought that this was all funny and that Judge Judy couldn't touch him. Well, she did. She dismantled him in front of his wife, the audience, and 10 million viewers at home.
And the idiot that you're married to knows the difference between right and wrong.
His smug expression melted in real time. The defendant, who had the audacity to call dressing respectfully being fake, wound up losing because of the very philosophy she walked in with. Oh, and the cherry on top was that Judy didn't let them say a word.
This is not a two-way street. All right. When you stop tapping.
But that level of disrespect was almost innocent compared to what Kelly Filkins pulled, because she didn't just disrespect the courtroom. She ran an eBay scam so brazen she actually thought that she could defend it to Judy's face. Kelly and her husband pulled one of the most audacious scams you will ever see. They listed cell phones on eBay, pocketed over $400 from buyers, and then mailed them printed photographs of the phones instead of the actual devices.
And I got these 2 sheets of paper.
During the hearing, Kelly stood at that podium and explained herself without a trace of embarrassment.
It states very clearly in the auction that this is for a photo only.
It was evidently clear to everybody in that room exactly what Kelly Filkins was.
You're an idiot and a scammer. You're a thief. Outrageous. You are
Even after getting dismantled by Judy like that, it was evidently clear that Kelly had absolutely no intention of admitting what she had done.
What kind of activity? She can't read. It's not my fault she can't read.
And without a second thought, Judy hit her with the maximum $5,000 judgment for phones worth $240 each because the scam was that contemptible.
You have to find something else to do with your time constructively. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Although Kelly's arrogance was cold and calculated, Sabrina Perez from the Brian Sanchez case would get an even worse dressing down just moments into the hearing for an entirely different kind of disrespect. Brian brought his ex-girlfriend Sabrina to court after she allegedly vandalized his car and harassed him following their breakup. However, one person in that courtroom simply couldn't stop making faces.
It was like 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, and she didn't stop either. She smirked, she rolled her eyes, she laughed during her own testimony, and then, as if all of that wasn't bad enough,
On June.
Now, Miss Perez.
You can tell by her smirks, her demeanor, and the constant moving around that she did exactly what she's being accused of. She even proudly admitted to getting involved with the plaintiff's friend immediately after the breakup, apparently seeing nothing wrong with any of it, while simultaneously claiming that she wasn't trying to provoke him.
I became friends with his best friend who lives right across the street from me.
Judy stared at her for what felt like a very long time and then gave her judgment. But that wasn't the only time a plaintiff's arrogance cost them everything in that courtroom. Because in our next case, the defendants managed to construct one of the most baffling legal arguments in the show's 25-year history. Patrick and Rachel were told to leave their apartment. They got a legal 30-day notice and they just didn't leave. Then they stopped paying rent entirely. During the hearing, Judy asked them to explain their reasoning.
We have a text message saying that she wants us out, that she doesn't want a penny for us for utilities.
Not only do these two think they're in the right, they also start to act like they're the victims.
What do you mean you had no choice?
We had no choice.
What do you mean you had no choice?
Well, we needed a place to stay and she was a family friend.
Judy found it so ridiculous that she just couldn't contain it anymore.
You both sound ridiculous.
This is when she hit Patrick with an insult that he'll remember for the rest of his life.
Go like this. Go like this. Go like this.
Yeah.
Get a job and move.
Poor guy actually got kind of happy there for a second. Not sure anybody else has been destroyed quite like this in a courtroom. And then came the verdict.
Have her
Well,
arrested.
it looks like this case
Judgment
is
for
over,
the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000.
Well, turns out they'll be paying her all that overdue rent after all. But Patrick's level of cheerful entitlement was nowhere nearly as obnoxious as our next case. Let's take a look at one of the most publicly humiliated defendants in this entire video. Alexandra Nelson filed an assault case claiming that she and her friends had been attacked. During the hearing, it quickly emerged that Alexandra had in fact been the aggressor the entire time.
What were you cursing at him for? Your best friend tells me you were cursing at him from the car. Were you intoxicated?
You were being dumb, and then he confronts two tiny women.
When Nelson spilled the real reason that she'd been cursing at him, even her own people next to her looked like they wanted to be somewhere else.
Madam, what were you cursing at them for?
Because they're losers.
Following this, Judy had to give Nelson and her mother a quick reality check.
Do you get it? Do you get it? They're manipulative. She's a problem. Your daughter is a problem.
And with that, Alexandra was awarded a $4,000 judgment against her without Judy spending another unnecessary second on the case.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. That's all. Step out.
But at least Alexandra stayed and took her judgment. Miss Richards couldn't even handle that. She stormed out of the courtroom while Judy was still talking. Richards had brought the case, hoping that the judge would side with her. But after listening to the situation, Judge Judy made it clear that she saw the bigger picture. The dispute, she explained, simply wasn't worth the fight.
If I were you and a good parent, I would let it go.
In Judy's view, a good parent would have let the whole thing go instead of dragging everybody into court over a relatively small amount of money.
If in 4 years I had given him $25 a month, it would have eaten up all that money. So,
But as Judy was calmly pointing out the math and suggesting she moves on, Frustrated and clearly furious that things weren't going her way, Richards abruptly stormed out of the courtroom.
I'm not going to do that.
Storming out on your own is one thing, but Tyler Nichols' girlfriend didn't get the chance to leave on her terms. Judy had the bailiff remove her. 21-year-old Megan Sonkrant was suing her ex-boyfriend Tyler Nichols for over $2,000.
How much was it?
It was $2,235.54.
During the relationship, she had paid for his king-size mattress, bed frame, TV, and other furniture using her credit card because he didn't have the money.
He used your credit card to purchase furniture, so there was a loan for furniture for his apartment.
Yeah.
However, once they broke up, Tyler kept the furniture and was now sleeping with his new girlfriend in that bed.
Do you watch the TV with your new girlfriend?
Yes.
And you sleep on the mattress in the frame?
Yes.
Tyler claimed it had been a gift, but things took a turn when his new girlfriend decided to jump into the conversation from the audience. Judge Judy hadn't even asked her a single question.
Me and him were together when she
I didn't
bought the bed.
ask you a question.
But the girlfriend didn't stop there. She laughed and arrogantly inserted herself into the argument anyway.
Do you think it's right that you pay for it?
Yeah, I should pay for it? No.
Judge Judy's expression changed instantly. Without raising her voice, she turned to her bailiff and calmly said the words no arrogant courtroom spectator wants to hear.
Bird, that one's irritating me. Would you get it ready?
Sure.
Just like that, the laughing girlfriend was escorted out of the courtroom. But getting thrown out of court is embarrassing. What Ms. Manos did was something else entirely. She tried to destroy a police officer's career with a formal complaint, and she had no idea that he'd recorded every single word. The defendant, Ms. Manos, had been clocked going 50 in a 35 zone and was later convicted. But instead of accepting the ticket, she filed a complaint with Internal Affairs, claiming the officer had been rude and disrespectful.
Very rude and abrupt and talked down at me very demeaningly.
What she didn't know was that the officer had recorded their entire conversation on tape when he pulled her over, and he was about to play that.
Ron?
50 miles an hour on the Well, what I did was I was trying to pass out of the car because I had come off and I had that spot. I know. Well, about a driver's license. Okay. They had the interstate come down there, the see that they had the lane blocked, and I had to get over to the turn because that's the only way I could get back over to, go. Okay, let's go ahead and find the registration and the insurance, please. I'll be right back with you. Sir? I'll be right back with you, ma'am. You have the paperwork there? Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm just so nervous. That's okay. Ma'am, they give you till the 27th of March to take care of the citation. Signatures here at the bottom, please. Do you have any idea how much you have? No, I sure don't. I wasn't doing anything. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just so nervous. It's okay, I understand. I do need your signature here at the bottom, please. I've never had this signature in my life. Does this mean I have to go to court? There's no way. All the information's on the copy that you're going to get. Oh, there's no way I can go to court. I can't afford to take off from work without pay. JJ sent me a very happy with me, JJ Leonard. Do you know JJ Leonard? Yeah. Information is on the back of the system.
Upon hearing the tape, you'd think that she'd be graceful enough to admit that she's in the wrong, but instead, she says this.
Don't they have to ask your permission or tell you that they are taping?
Judge Judy was not about to let this go. She told Ms. Manos what she did was absolutely outrageous.
How dare you place a call to Internal Affairs to try to make trouble for his career?
Without a second thought, Judy awarded the officer his full judgment.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. The entire award is $5,000.
She walked in claiming a police officer disrespected her. She filed a formal complaint to destroy his career, and the whole time every word of their actual conversation was on tape. That's what happens when you bet your credibility against the truth in Judge Judy's courtroom.